Title: A few hours before my wedding, I got a message from my brother. Don't go to your wedding. Check your wife's closet. At first I thought it was a joke, but when I opened the closet door, I was speechless. Chapter 1. The text that shattered everything. The morning of my wedding, I woke up feeling strangely calm. My tuxedo was ironed, the venue was prepped. My best man, my older brother Eric, had just texted me that he'd picked up the rings. Everything seemed in order. Until 10:47 a.m. That's when my phone buzzed again. Another message from Eric. But this one wasn't about rings. Eric, don't go to your wedding, check her closet. Now I blinked at the screen. Was this a joke? I texted back, me. Dude, what? No reply. I waited a few minutes. Called. Straight to voicemail. At first, I laughed it off. Maybe he was messing with me. Nerves were normal. Maybe he was trying to prank me into one last test of trust. We always joked darkly growing up. But something about his tone. It wasn't playful. It was urgent. I stared at the screen for a long moment. Then I looked at the clock. 3 hours until the ceremony. With a knot forming in my gut, I walked across the apartment to the bedroom. Our bedroom. Everything in that room screamed of her. White silk robe on the chair. Perfume bottle on the dresser. The wedding invitation pinned to the mirror with a little heart. I approached her closet slowly. Hand on the handle. Hesitation. What was I expecting? Nothing, right? But when I opened it, my breath caught in my throat. Behind her row of neatly pressed dresses, hidden in the far back, was a shoebox. Not a normal one. It had duct tape around the edges like it had been opened and resealed many times. Inside were photos. Dozens of them. Photos of her. And him. Her ex. The same ex she swore she hadn't spoken to in years. Some were candid. Some were clearly taken in hotel rooms. Recent hotel rooms. The timestamps matched weekends she told me she was visiting her mother. I felt my knees buckle slightly. But there was more. A handwritten note, half crumpled, on hotel stationery. I wish we didn't have to hide. But soon he'll be out of the way and it'll just be us again. I staggered back from the closet like I'd touched a live wire. Everything we had built, the laughter, the wedding planning, the vows we wrote together, it all collapsed in an instant. And Eric knew. Which meant, there was more to this than just betrayal. Much more. Chapter 2. The second betrayal. My hands were shaking. I sat on the edge of the bed, shoebox at my feet, those photos still scattered across the floor like the ashes of a dream. Her smile in every picture felt like a taunt now, a cruel performance I paid for in love and loyalty. I called Eric again. This time he picked up. His voice was low, almost strained. Did you check it? Yes. My voice cracked. How long have you known? A long pause. Long enough, he said. I stood, fury rising in my chest. Why didn't you tell me earlier? We could have stopped this weeks ago, months ago. Because, he said, I didn't have proof until this morning. And when I found it, I ran out of time. That stopped me cold. What do you mean? Eric exhaled. Listen, I wasn't supposed to find it. Her ex, the guy in the photos, he reached out to her. I intercepted the message. It was explicit. Too explicit to be a first-time thing. That's when I started digging. Where did you find it? I asked, feeling the nausea set in. Her laptop, he said. She left it open when she went to meet the florist last week. You remember? The night you got that weird stomach bug. I remembered. I thought I'd eaten something bad. Now I wasn't so sure. Dude. Eric's voice dropped. You need to sit down for this. I already was. She was planning to elope with him after the wedding. The room spun. She was going to marry you, collect the gifts, enjoy the honeymoon, drain your joint account, and then disappear. My mouth went dry. She has a secret account, he continued. I found wire transfers from your credit card to a savings account under a fake business name. I don't know how long she's been skimming, but it's in the tens of thousands. The betrayal wasn't just romantic. It was financial. It was psychological. It was total. She wanted a wedding for show, Eric added. A fairy tale photo shoot to cover up what she really is. A manipulator. A con artist. A fraud in white silk. That's when I stood up, calmly, silently, dead inside. Cancel the wedding? Eric asked. No, I said coldly. We don't cancel. That's what she'd expect. Instead, I would let her walk right into her own destruction, smiling, dressed in white, surrounded by everyone she had fooled. And then, I'd pull the curtain. Step 1. Secure the evidence. I copied everything Eric had found, emails, photos, bank transfers, onto 2 flash drives. One I locked in a fireproof safe in my studio. The other I tucked into my inside suit pocket, just in case she tried to spin the narrative when things exploded. Step 2. The guest list edit. I made some late-night calls to key guests. My lawyer, my boss, my uncle who served as a judge. Did they need to be there? Number. But would their presence make the fallout unignorable? Absolutely. I also asked Eric to seat her ex's girlfriend, yes, she existed, at a prime table near the aisle. She'd been cheated on too. She was more than willing to help me crash the masquerade. Step 3. The backup venue. I called a close friend who managed a downtown lounge with a large private event room, told him I might need a place for a post-wedding gathering, emphasized it had to be discreet, he owed me a favor, said yes. And just like that, the war room was ready. Step 4. The vows. This was the hardest part. I sat down in the stillness of the kitchen and began writing the vows she expected me to read at the altar. They started off sweet, just like she'd want. You walked into my life like a storm I didn't know I needed. But by the 3rd paragraph, it turned. And now standing before our friends I can't wait to show them exactly who you are. Step 5. The day of the wedding. She didn't suspect a thing. She floated around in her robe, sipping champagne with her bridesmaids, grinning like the world was hers. She kissed my cheek and whispered, "Soon, you'll be mine forever." I smiled back. "You have no idea," I whispered. The guests arrived, cameras flashed, music swelled, and as she walked down the aisle, all eyes turned to her, the glowing bride, the picture of purity. She didn't notice the judge in the 2nd row, or the banker with the fraud department in the back, or her ex's girlfriend clutching a photo album, but she'd see them soon enough, because what was supposed to be her dream day was about to become a full-blown expose. Chapter 4. The wedding that wasn't. The music swelled as she reached the altar. She looked radiant, almost angelic, in her designer gown, her cheeks flushed with excitement, her eyes locked onto mine, and she gave that same smug smile I'd once found charming. The officiant cleared his throat and began, "Dearly beloved." But I barely heard a word. My heart wasn't racing, it was steady, focused. When the officiant nodded to me, signaling it was time for my vows, I stepped forward, holding the small card I had written days earlier. Jessica beamed, expecting the words she'd dreamed of since the ring hit her finger. I took a deep breath, then I looked her in the eyes, and read. Jessica, you walked into my life like a storm I didn't know I needed. You were breathtaking, bold, unpredictable. And like most storms, you were also incredibly destructive. There was a soft chuckle in the crowd, confused. I continued, voice calm. You taught me love, yes, but you also taught me betrayal. You showed me what loyalty looks like, by demonstrating exactly what it doesn't. Jessica's smile faded, her eyes flickered. She whispered, "What are you doing?" I didn't stop. "You told me you were mine, but while I built us a future, you were busy sneaking around with a man who couldn't even look me in the eye, who couldn't show his face today because he knows what's coming." Now the crowd shifted, murmurs, phones rising. "I was going to marry you, until 4 nights ago, when your ex's girlfriend sent me the video of you two in a hotel suite, time-stamped, on the night of your bridal spa day." A gasp erupted, her mother clutched her pearls, Jessica turned ghostly white. "This isn't a wedding anymore, it's a goodbye party. And since you so desperately wanted everyone here, I figured they deserve to know who you really are." She tried to grab the mic, I stepped back. 2 ushers, both friends, stood between her and the exit. Her ex's girlfriend walked up the aisle and placed a framed photo on the altar, Jessica kissing her ex in bed. Cameras clicked, someone in the back yelled, "Holy shit." I turned to the crowd, for anyone wondering, yes, the venue's paid for, dinner is served, but the bride and I won't be staying, she has a lot of explaining to do. And me? I've got a lounge reserved across town, where I'll be celebrating my freedom. Then I walked out, straight down the aisle, no tears, no fight, no hesitation. Jessica collapsed into a pew, sobbing and begging. But I didn't turn around. Outside, my car was waiting. Eric handed me a glass of champagne. "Ready?" he asked. I nodded. "Let's go." Chapter 5. The Aftermath. A lesson in ruin. By the time I reached the hotel lounge across town, the video had already hit social media. The speech. The framed photo on the altar. Jessica's breakdown in front of hundreds. It was everywhere. Reddit. TikTok. Even a local news blog titled it, "The Groom Who Cancelled His Wedding with a Mic Drop." And people loved it. Her world, burning. By Monday morning, Jessica had lost her job. She was a corporate PR manager, meaning optics mattered. HR had received multiple complaints about her lack of integrity and moral fitness. They couldn't afford the scandal. She was quietly let go. Her apartment? Paid in part by me. The lease? In my name. She was served an eviction notice within days. Even her affair partner had ghosted her. Turned out, he was already in trouble with his own fiancée who had also received a copy of the photos. They both vanished into shame. Jessica had no one. Meanwhile, me? I moved forward. My boss, who watched the wedding video, offered me a promotion. Said he admired the way I handled betrayal with class and control. I accepted it. New job. New apartment. Therapy. Peace. I even started casually seeing someone. Quiet. Gentle. Real. She didn't compare herself to anyone. She just showed up fully. Something Jessica never did. The final message about 3 months after the wedding bombshell. I received a long email from Jessica. Subject. Please. Just read. I know I destroyed everything. I made the worst mistake of my life. I thought I could have both of you, and in the end, I lost everything. I lost you. Please, just coffee? One chance to say sorry in person? I didn't reply. Instead, I forwarded the email to my lawyer and added a single line. Block her. Permanently. Epilogue. Revenge done right. Revenge doesn't have to be loud. It doesn't need fists, screaming matches, or drama. Sometimes the most lethal revenge is letting someone destroy themselves with the rope they handed you. Jessica gave me all the rope I needed. All I did was tie the knot. And when the world watched her unravel, I simply smiled. The lesson? Don't mistake kindness for weakness. Don't confuse silence for submission. And never assume your lies will stay buried, because when truth wakes up, it buries you. Was this revenge perfectly justified? Tell us what you would have done in the comments below. Like the story, share it with someone who needs this, and subscribe to Lauren's story for more jaw-dropping tales of betrayal and justice. Because here, every lie has its reckoning, and every betrayal finds its shadow. Stay sharp, stay strong, and stay tuned.